something or someone, when you say observe, you observe somebody, you monitor the person, you take a closer look, you focus on the person. So when you say observe the situation, you are saying, okay, pay a closer attention to the situation. There are some similar things like you can say scrutinize, do due diligence. So observation is actually an act of noticing something or perceiving something. Sometimes we say, I perceive, I think, I notice. It's an act of instance. You regarding attentively, watchfully an issue, an item. To observe also means that you should be able to, define a phenomenon, define a process, or define that act that you are seeing. So it is good that in life we must learn to observe. Like God was asking Jeremiah, what are you seeing? That is the question I'm going to be asking today. You have to observe. We see people every day in life, in business, in marriage, in everything, in education, in your whatever, in life, whatever activity you are involved in, whatever sector you are playing, you will come across different people. There is a need for you to observe. Observe goes beyond seeing them. Observe going beyond, you just see the people. You can see them. You can see, but don't observe. You observe with an inner eye, not the physical eye. There is an inner eye. Helen Keller, the popular lady, said, Helen Keller, he said the worst that can happen to any human being is to have eyes, but he cannot see. In other words, you have eyes, you can see, but you cannot see, you cannot observe, you cannot scrutinize. That's what he's saying. I say you need to develop the capacity to see well. Otherwise, you will pay a heavy price in life. I come again. You have to develop your ability to see well. Capacity to see well. Otherwise, you will pay a heavy price in life. What price will you pay? You will pay a heavy price for missing out, for seeing with your physical eye but not observing, not scrutinizing, not taking notice of the characteristics of the person or the people or the circumstance that you are seeing. Because for observation means that you don't only see the physical, you are able to, as it were, extract some facts about the issue, about the life. I say, in the spiritual world, we say we seek the wisdom of God to observe. And I think too that even in the other side of the religion, everybody, they seek the wisdom of Allah to observe. And if you read, the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 11 and 15. Let me just quickly read it, because Jesus also went and observed. You would think that Jesus, being a human being who has all, or who was a God that came in the form of a man and had it all made up, you ask yourself, why should he be observing? But he had to observe. He had to observe. I don't mind the way I come today, because there is nothing like home. And when you are not in your home, certain things, the luxury of my internet that is fast cannot be compared to where I am now. So even trying to pick scriptures. So I'm reading the book of Mark, chapter 11, verse 11 and verse 15. It says, Jesus rode through the gates of Jerusalem and up to the temple. After looking around at everything, that is, after observing, he left for Bethany with the 12 disciples to spend the night, for it was already late in the day. Let me give you a backup to this story. You know, Jesus came in, he went to the temple and observed. He looked critically and see what they were doing. I remember the temple is his father's house. When he got there, he observed. He saw some people trading, commercial activities, several things going on in his father's temple. Verse 15. When they came into Jerusalem, Jesus went directly into the temple area and overturned all the tables and benches of merchants who were doing business there. One by one, he drove them all out of the temple courts, and they scattered away, including the money changers and those selling doves. They turned the temple of God into a market, into a place of trading and merchandise. But he observed, and because it was already getting late, he went back to Bethany to go and sleep. The following morning, he came back and now acted based on what he has observed. Acted based on what he has observed. Like I said, I don't intend doing more than 1 hour because I have a meeting somewhere. So, that is, if your master Jesus, the Father, the creator of wisdom, knowledge, and also could observe, then you must learn to. I said he went to observe the temple and left, but came the next time with a whip. So the question I ask you today: do you have patience to observe people? You are most likely to err in judgment if you don't observe people. In other words, if you don't have the patience to observe the people around you, you are likely to err in judgment. It is the period of observation, the period of scrutiny, that gives you the true relationship, the true reflection, the true, behaviorism that you can criticize. So, what is observation? Observation is simply the acronym is O B S E R V A T I O N. Observation. So I'm going to pick them one by one. Each of the letters has a meaning. So the O, the law of observation starts with the O. What does the O mean? O signifies open your eyes. Open your eyes. I say a lot of us are blind. You need to be able to open your eyes. Don't miss things you ought to see fairly. Don't miss things you ought to see fairly. That way you can see danger coming to your life. In other words, you must open your eyes. And I have explained that when we say open your eyes, it goes beyond this physical eye. The eyes need to focus. The eye need to scrutinize. The eye need to observe. Process what you see. So if we don't open our eyes to observe, we miss the things that we ought to see in life, and they can come to endanger our life. In other words, there are things around you. I'll give you, for example, parents. When you have parents, you have children, teenagers. You are not observing them. You are not observing their behaviorism. You are not seeing them change small, small. Let me see. I give you an instance. The very first case, that opened my eye was a 26-year-old boy. A 26-year-old boy who was staying under the nose of the father and the mother. And this boy was even sent to school. I think Calabar Polytechnic or something. These people didn't observe. This guy was into drugs. And he did drugs for over 7 years, 26. So he probably started at 19 and he was doing drugs. And the parents didn't know until the guy went gaga. So I said, before I take you to the rehabilitation center, I must ask you questions. You know, when I scrutinized and the boy said for how long he has been into drug, the parents were shocked. What does that tell you? They were not observant. I asked the parents, don't you observe? If you even go into his room, or he goes out, he comes in. You don't observe his eyes. You don't observe his lips. You don't even smell him. That your son will be on drug for almost 7 years. It is the 7th year when he has finally gone gaga that you now observe. Observation. So, as parents, open your eyes. As a business person, open your eyes. As a leader, open your eyes. As a pastor in a church, open your eyes and observe. As a miss a step, you can fall and injure yourself. What am I saying? Most of us live in houses where there are steps. So if you are not observant of your steps, if you are not observant of how your road looks like, how your house looks like, if you miss a step, you will fall. God forbid. It can lead to anything. In your bedroom, if you don't observe, you see, the route you pass on a daily basis, you must observe in such a way that when it put literally, even when you close your eyes, you can move around you. So observation is both spiritual, emotional, physical, in every area, in every of your life activity, you need to open your eyes and observe. I'll give you an example of parents now. You are a business owner, you are a manager, you don't observe your staff. You don't notice certain traits in them. You are looking for trouble. Don't miss things you ought to see fairly, or you will endanger your life. Miss a step, you can fall and injure. As a leader, you should be able to see. But to see, you need to observe. To see, you need to observe. Like Jesus went into that place and observed. You know, I'm somewhere now. I came in and I'm going to give somebody. I'm going to look at a process and a factory and give somebody an opinion. What I just did, in the morning, yes, till he took me around and all the rest, blah 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 blah. I just at about 2 o'clock, I came into the hotel room. So at about 5, I went back to that place when he was not there. Because the way staff will behave when a guy is around is different from the way they will behave when he's not there. So I went there without his own, he didn't even know. He didn't even know. And went in there, stayed 2 hours, from 5 till past 7. It was from there I came in now to come and see, to come and do this now. And mainly I know what I'm doing now. He's waiting for me. I actually sent somebody to come and I said, no, I have an engagement. I will only come and see you after that. I can tell you that within those 2 hours, what I have observed has given me 60 to 70% of all the information I need to turn around this business. Open your eyes. A leader needs an eagle's eye. Eagles are very observant. Eagles see very far off. So when it comes to observation, our target is to grow and capacity and strength to be like an eagle. that we are very observant and we can only observe from far away. To be able to observe your children from far, your business persons as from far, you should be able to accurately predict people. Observation. That's for the O. The B, is OBSERVAI, nation. Observe a nation. Vision. The B stands for blind spot. Blind spot. Every one of us has or have a blind spot. In life, how successful you are depends on how fewer your blind spots are, or how you are able to recognize your blind spots and, as it were, make up for it. I'll give you an instance. You are driving a car. You have the front mirror. You have the side mirror. You can look at the side mirror. You will see part of your back. You look at the front mirror. You will see. I want to ask you a question. With all the mirrors, both left and right and from this one, do you see the back of your shoulder? Do we see the back of our shoulder? I just need somebody to just unmute and say no or yes.
No.
Good. So at that particular time, in other words, as you are driving, your blind spot is your immediate back. Your immediate back, you can't see it. So your blind spot is an area, a range of your vision or your focus that you cannot see properly. I come over it again. Your blind spot is an area in your range, and that particular range, by that distance from the angle at which you are looking and observing. Your vision, your focus cannot catch it, cannot capture it. That's why I just give you an example of, because each and every one of us have a car, we have driven a car. You have a car, the man who made the car thinks he has done all he needs to do. That is a side mirror, left, right. Then at the top, you see your back. But there is no mirror for you to see the back of your shoulder. And that is what armed robbers capitalize on. All these one chance. Because everybody driving is a blind spot. You can pick a passenger at your back seat. So what he will do is that he will position himself in your black spot. And that is when he wants to, he will just grab you at gunpoint. Pack. Blind spot. I say the blind spots, or my blind spots in my life, are places I should avoid. That is, what is your blind spot? Your blind spot in your life are things that you should avoid in your marriage, in contract, in relationship. What am I saying? In other words, whatever you are not seeing clearly, whatever you don't have 100% idea about, whatever you don't know as if you know that you know that you know, is a blind spot. So avoid blind spots in your marriage. For instance, you are suspecting your husband or your wife. You have not seen, you have no evidence. It's a blind spot. You are going into a contract you want to sign. There are areas, gray areas that are not clear onto you. It's a blind spot. You avoid it. Your friend, or maybe your business partner or something, there are certain things, areas you are not clear about. At any point, you are not in control of that situation. You cannot say you have sinned. You cannot, there is no clear definition. It's amorphous, it's elusive. You can't pin him down. It's a blind spot. Watch out for that in that partner. Watch out for that in a partner. You can be seen, but you are not seen. In other words, you can be seen, you are not seen. What is that trying to tell you? You think you are seen, but you are not seen. You don't have a proper, view. You don't have a proper understanding. I say, I get things happening around you that you are not seeing. I've just given this instance of a child into drugs. The parents don't know. You have teenagers on their phone. Where do they go to? Pornography. You don't observe. You don't know. I say you need revelation. You need the revelation of God. You need that, you must be able to build up yourself to that mental capacity that you can have a revelation. You can, by intuition, you can pick certain things. Because observation means that you look at things critically, you do a critical analysis, and you can draw an inference. You have a daughter who is always on phone, and anytime you step in, it stops the conversation. How many of us know that our children have, acronyms? They have so many ways they can relate to their friends there. I once stumbled on definition, how they can say dad is around. They will not say dad is around. They have a way of putting it. Not safe to talk. I will get back to you. They have, as it were, they have terminologies in which they use in saying these things. And it becomes your blind spot as a parent if you cannot observe. So in such a situation, you need the Spirit of God to help you, to reveal to you. I say blind spots are dangerous, so you must be observant to find them out. May you not be blind to happening around you. And may God cause you to see and see well. Somebody say amen to that one. The third letter is S. Observation is OB, then S. OB, the S stands for see beyond the physical, see beyond the human limitation, see beyond the constraint, see beyond the need placed on you. You must develop the capacity of reading. Like I tell people, there are some things that I said, I am able to, by the grace of God, I can tell from what you did not say, from what you said. From what you say to me, I can tell what you did not say. And what you did not say is the most important thing. So, in other words, you must see beyond the physical. You must see beyond what he has just shown to you now. You must observe and be able to come out with the implication of what was not said. I don't want to refer you to the Bible, but if you go and read Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7, you know how the prophet came and said they were bringing all the handsome men before God, before the prophet, handsome, huge, this. Man say, God sees us different from the way we are seen. Say, I will not sit down, I will not rest, I will not take water until I see what I am asking for. I have not. Until from the first child to the 11th, they say, is there no other one? They say, oh, there is one small lad somewhere tending sheep. Go and bring him. And the Bible records that the moment he stepped in, the anointing was released on Samuel. So I say, seeing beyond the physical. The Lord looks beyond the physical, but at the heart. In other words, you must, for every human being that you come across, see beyond his prettiness, fine face. That fine face where they see, maybe deep down, she's very dirty. Her habits will shock you. She may even be having a body odor. See beyond the physical. You can be untrained but pass the interview with the heart. You can be untrained but pass the interview with the heart. The heart is like I've always said, the heart is the processing faculty. It is the one that what you see in the physical, it is the heart that, as it were. And people say, "Oh, Eureka, I found him." There is an every moment of Eureka from your heart. There is an every point of revelation if you see beyond the physical. You know, the Bible says, it says, there is nothing I will not do without telling my prophets. In other words, he let the prophets know. And guys, we are all prophets. We are all prophets. That is the secret. The clairvoyant people, the clairvoyant, how do you call them now? Uses against us because they see beyond the physical. They will tell you, your mother was this, your mother and your grandfather is this. This is we fought for it flat. Even you as a spiritual person, as a normal person, you can develop that spirit of clairvoyancy, ability to see into the future. It is through observation. Ability to predict events based on what you see. Call it prophecy. Call it this thing. You can analyze situation and you are able to. God has given us that capacity and ability. If only we see beyond the physical and see with our heart, our inner eye. I say the strength of a house is not the outward structure, but the internal structure. The strength of a house is not the cosmetic dressing. It is the internal structure, the rods, the concrete, the stone, pebble stones that they have put inside of it. That is what determines the strength of a house. So your own strength as a human being, your ability to see, is to see from the physical, to see from the heart, not from the ordinary eye. The strongest place of a house is the foundation. Guys, observe that the foundation, they dig down deep into the ground. It's buried, but that is where the strength is. So your strength as a father is what is inside of you, what you can, as it were, see in your children, see in your family from your heart, not the physical. Your strength as a business owner, as a leader, is what you can see of that business from your heart, not from the physical, not from the today. Still talking on letter S, see beyond. Men can see and assess you poorly. Men can see and assess you poorly. In other words, if you don't properly know me, if you don't see me well, you see me poorly, you are not seeing me from the inside. You will see me poorly and you will assess me based on what you see. Say, error. So we must develop that capacity to be able to see properly and see people from the inside. Don't just believe words or what they tell you. Investigate. In other words, if it is you are a leader, your statement goes out and come back to give you a report. Investigate, ask questions, be inquisitive. Don't just swallow hook and sinker what they have told you. It is not a sin or a weakness to question a story. It is not a sin or a sign of weakness to investigate a matter. What you are trying to do is that you are not looking at what they have told you from the physical. You try to analyze it from the inside, and by throwing questions,